Skying is caused from a couple different things, but primarily skying is the handle dropping to the bottom of the boat due to either the hands pushing the handle down at the catch or the body collapsing at the front end and therefore the handle going with. So the drilling sequence that we did on that was early body preparation to make sure that we've got the body set early so that they don't collapse at the front end. The progression of that drill was body over. We did a double pause drill. First was at arms away. Second pause was at body over, just to get them to separate themselves out on the drive, not to come forward all at once. The second part of that drill is to pause at body over and then at half slide. And at half slide, then the focus is to let the knees come to the chest rather than the chest to drop down to the knees. And in that, it helps them to not collapse at the front end, but rather to set the body preparation early and let the knees come to the chest, therefore keeping the handle up. I added in two separate drills which work. In addition to that, one is to gunnel the handle at half slide, and that requires that the handle is pressed down to the gunnel, and all of the motion from half slide to the catch is handle up, blade to the water. So it teaches them that the motion is handle forward and blade handle up and blade to the water. The second drill that we added to that is crossover drill, and crossover drill is a drill that I learned from U.S. Rowing Coach Drills, which has worked beautifully, and that is a drill that you cross the outside over the inside. It keeps the inside shoulder pressed down, and it does not allow you to drop the outside shoulder, which typically creates the skying motion. Less powerful here, more just feeling the rotation into the front end. So we're not dropping the outside shoulder down at the catch.
One of the common problems that you see at the catch end is skying. When the oar is coming back, and then before they go in the water, the blade comes way up in the air, up in here, and then you have to chop it down, and more often than not, you go deep. That comes, I think, from one of two different things. First, not having your shoulders properly set, so when you come up to the catch, actually dropping the shoulder down, and when the outside shoulder comes down, then the blade comes way up in the air. And the only way you can put the blade in the water then is to lift with your body, and in so doing, you're going to dig down and go deep. The other thing that happens quite often is, particularly with newer rowers, is that when they square the blade up, instead of keeping the blade, the oar handle on a plane and squaring up around the oar handle, keeping this on a plane, they keep their wrist on a plane and drop the oar handle down. And as they drop the oar handle down, keeping their wrist on one plane, the blade goes way up in the air. So it's usually one of those two things which causes skying at the catch. And then we have to figure out how to recover from there. Let's go half slide, hold. Pausing at half slide, please. Work on not changing the body angle after the pause. Working on sitting nice and tall after the pause. You can look at 6 in the near boat, Billy. Set, the closer you get up to the catch end, the lower you get. Let's keep your shoulders parallel to the oar handle. Don't drop that outside shoulder down. It brings your blade up in the air. I try to get my athletes to envision the bow of a boat at the catch end. So if they come out and if they were to just to trace the bow of a boat on a dock, it would come out and it would go up and then it would come straight back. Right? So you'd have the slope of the bow, the angle of the bow coming up and then coming straight back. The opposite of that is what happens with the blade out on the water. The blade should come down closest to the water, go in, and then come straight through. When athletes miss water, a variety of reasons for missing water, but they go out usually, and then they do the exact opposite, and they're pulling it in this way. So if you go straight out and then pull it in, try to catch on the drive, what the blade does then is comes in this way, and then you pull it in and miss water here, as opposed to coming in this way, dropping it in, and then pulling straight through. I try to get them to picture. We actually look at the blades quite a bit. I'll have everyone look out at the blades. I want to get the splash on both sides of the blade. If you get splash on the entry just on the front side, you're missing water. And obviously, if you get splash just on the back side, you're backing it down, and you don't want to do that either. So you want to go in at your full reach, at your optimum reach, and picture going in and dropping it in very quickly with splash coming up on both sides of the blade. The thing I talk about is the speed at which you go into the water. I don't think you should go in hard. I don't think you should lift hard. But you also have to go in at pretty good speed, because if the boat is moving by the water still, the boat's moving by the water. If you go in slowly, you'll end up dragging it down. If you go in slowly too, other times you just miss water and do it this way. So when you get out there, you really have to drop it in fairly quickly. So one image which I try to use to get them to think about it is if they were to put their fist through a window, that you would do it fairly quickly, but not really that hard. If you went really hard, you put your whole arm through the window, you'd probably get all cut up and everything else. And if you didn't hit it hard enough, you wouldn't break the window. So if you were going to break a window, you'd hit it with just enough speed and just enough force to break the window, but not to destroy your whole arm. The same thing is true when you put the oar in the water. You want to go in quickly and sharply, but it's not a heavy motion. It's not a strong motion. We shouldn't send tidal waves off the blade. It should be very quick, and then the oars just disappear. I think crews that row efficiently at the front end, if you're looking at them, literally, the oars are there, and then suddenly they're not there. There is no superfluous motion. There's no extra activity. There's no big waves or white water. They're very quickly, they're out, and then they're gone, and they're underwater, and they're